A zebra on their hind quarter and legs, but they're not related to the zebra at all. They're actually the only known relative of the giraffe. And okapi are so rarely seen in the wild, we didn't even realize they existed until 1901. On the left is the local watering hole. It's a very important gathering place in the forest. And it's usually our best opportunity to see a black rhino, so y'all might want to keep your eyes peeled. Unfortunately, these powerful beasts have been, oh, here we go, all the way back against the cliff. You see one back there? His ear just moved. Or I wouldn't have noticed him against that wall back there. That he mixes in with the clay very well. Unfortunately, these powerful beasts have been nearly hunted to extinction. Hundreds of thousands have been killed for their horn. On the right, those red animals with the white vertical stripes are bongo. They're known as the ghost of the forest because they're not often seen in the wild, mainly due to their nocturnal nature. Saddle shape across their beak, and they can grow to stand 5 feet tall and have wingspans of 8 or 9 feet. When they build a nest, it's usually about 6 feet in diameter. Usually see them on the right. There's a couple down there today. Hippos are among the largest animals in Africa. They can weigh up to 5,000 pounds. That's pretty impressive when you consider their birth weight's only about 85 pounds. They do a lot of growing in their lifetime. Here's some more hippos on the left-hand side. When you see hippos in the water like this, they're not swimming or floating. They're just standing there on the river bottom. They can hold their breath for 5 to 8 minutes, and they stay in the water all day to keep cool. Then in the evenings, they'll leave the water and graze along the riverbanks where they'll eat about 150 pounds of grass. I'm already seeing a couple of animals, folks. Let's start with the ones closest to us. Well, that would be a giraffe now that I look closer. There's a reticulated giraffe against the wood line right in front of us and another one to the left. When they're fully grown, they can stand 18 to 20 feet tall and weigh 2,500 pounds, so they're usually about 6 feet tall at birth. The 4 large brown animals between the 2 giraffes are Patterson's eland. They're the largest member of the antelope species. Males can weigh up to 2,000 pounds and stand 6 feet tall to their front shoulder. Both male and female have horns. The Serengeti grasslands stretch for hundreds of miles across East Africa, and they serve as a superhighway for millions of migrating animals every year. This is also home to some of our more famous animals, like lions and elephants and giraffes. This is the wild Africa we're all working very hard to conserve. The gray and black animals just ahead on the right, and we're going to get even closer than this, but those are white-bearded wildebeest. They're part of a keep pace with the rest of the herd just a few minutes after being born. These tall cone-shaped mounds of earth you see through here are termite mounds. Those things are as hard as concrete. Elephants use them for scratching posts, and after the elephants wear them down to a small hill like that one on the right, smaller animals like Thompson's gazelle will stand on them to keep watch for predators in the tall grass. And I'm sure we'll see a Tommy. Yep, there's some Tommies on the left-hand side, further ahead on the other side of that other safari truck. Those small animals with the white belly and black racing stripe on their side. That's as big as a Tommy again. Have horns. And again, the smaller animals with the black stripe on their side are Thompson's gazelle or Tommies. Oh, here we go. Directly in front of us, laying next to a stump and soon to be on your right, a trio of Ankole cattle. They're also known as Watusi cattle, after the Watusi African tribe. They first domesticated them. Their horns can grow to be 6 feet long and 20 inches around at the base. They have a nickname, 7,000 to 12,000 pounds. They can live as long as 60 or 70 years. Their gestation period lasts 22 months, which is followed by about a 300-pound infant. You'll see these big upside-down looking trees all through here. Those are baobab trees, and they're able to survive long periods of drought by storing water in their trunk and by going leafless up to 9 months out of the year. They can live to be about 2,000 years old that we're aware of. During the dry season, from their diet, they eat tiny brine shrimp and other water creatures that are high in carotene. And folks, if you take a close look at the shape of that island they're standing on, you might see something familiar.
Mickey! Oh, I see.
Whenever we're lucky enough to see white rhino, it's usually in this area just ahead, so hopefully we'll see some today. White rhino are a real African success story. Not too many years ago, white rhino were very nearly extinct, just like black rhino are today. And for the same reason, they're horned. But thanks to widespread conservation and anti-poaching laws, there's some off to the left. White rhino's population is finally back to a sustainable level, and hopefully the black rhino will have the same good fortune real soon. White rhino are quite a bit larger than black rhino. They can weigh up to... Hey folks, off to the left-hand side, about 10 feet up into the woods back there, you see those cheetahs laying there? They look like just light tan logs laying there in the shade. Anybody able to see them? You couldn't tell it by looking at them, but they're the fastest land animals on Earth. Cheetahs can make speeds up to 70 miles an hour for short distances, and they prefer to hunt during the daylight hours with their sense of sight rather than the evening hours with their sense of sight. To see them a little better. Lions love the Copies. They lay up there sunning themselves, resting 18 to 20 hours a day. And then when it's time to hunt, they use that high ground as a vantage point to scope out the area for prey. Lions live in groups that we call species. They have an unusual coat. When the sun hits their coat just right, they appear to be purple.
There are poachers in the area. Can you help us get them out?
There's an ostrich on the right. What do you say, folks? You want to help Wilson catch some poachers?
Yeah!
All right. Symbol 1 to Wilson. We're on our way. Over.